watched a lot of bad movies. Hell, a lot of my reviews on this channel are bad movies. Or movies that aren't that good, but have their moments. And I've reviewed movies that I've hated. But I would rather watch those movies 10 times than watch this movie again. It's almost 2 hours. It's almost a 2-hour long movie. The description of the movie isn't even true. Because that's what made me want to watch it. It wasn't even close to being true. And it's just very boring, confusing, and literally nothing happens in it. So, first off, this girl, she gets in a freak accident. That's how they describe it. Anyway, the description of the movie is she gets stalked by a trucker. But that never happens. It's just some random tow truck person that she calls. And he turns out to be a bad person. She's not stalked. No one, follows her when she's driving to a gas station and pops her tires or anything. Or chases the car after her in an abandoned, run-down small town. It's just someone with a tow truck turns out to be a bad person. Anyway, he takes her she hides at a gas station after she realizes that he's a bad person. Because she looks for a piece of paper for him to write on, because his tongue got hurt, probably from one of his victims, so he can no longer talk. And instead, she finds an ID, and it's not of him. He punches her in the face, and then he stops the car. She gets out of the car, runs and hides. He finds her. They fight for a little bit, and then a cop car shows up. He locks her in the bathroom. And then a cop comes. This is probably the only decent scene in the movie. And it's actually kind of tense. She's in the bathroom. She's not really yelling for whatever reason. She's just crying. She's not, she doesn't have anything making it so she can't talk. She's just handcuffed to a toilet. She's just crying, so I thought that was weird. Why isn't she screaming for help? She knew the cop car was there. When the cop car pulled up, she was looking right at it when he dragged her into the bathroom. So she should have been screaming, help, 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 to try and get the cop to come. But anyway, cop takes out his radio. He's about to phone it in, oh yeah, this guy's kind of suspicious. And then he turns around before he's even done with the radio and sees he's not there. They get in a little fight, and he talks about how he just wants to see his family. Then he kills them and just leaves them out in the open. I thought that was a bit weird. And he kidnaps the girl. And then that's it. That's the only interesting thing that happens in this movie. The rest of it is just him torturing her occasionally and occasionally murdering a random woman. There's also this small plot about 30 days or whatever, and she's supposed to survive 30 days and something's gonna happen. I don't really understand what happens, because she's just it's been 30 days, this is what you wanted. Unless you're afraid of the dark, and then she breaks a light or whatever. I don't know what's going on. You haven't explained anything. There's also a terrible line where she says, it's just us adults now, let's huff and puff. And then now they're fighting. God, this movie was trash. Anyway, she ends up beating him and drugging him. She also has a chance to kill him, but she doesn't. She puts the shock collar on him that he had on her for most of the movie. And just shocks him a bunch. Then she puts it on something so it just won't stop shocking him. He eventually crawls his way up the stairs and stops the shocker, though. She could have killed him while he was getting shocked. But she doesn't. Anyway, she ends up tying him and one of his victims to a chair. Because apparently she developed Stockholm Syndrome. And he betrayed her. Because she actually wasn't going to help her or whatever. Even though they haven't really interacted in this movie at all. But whatever. So, she's like, don't worry, I didn't kill him. Because I know you actually are friends with him or whatever. And then she drugs her too. Then she ties them both to a chair. She kills him with some drug. And then she's like, well, here, I'm gonna leave you with his dead body. Then she like ties her up and just leaves her. And the movie ends. I don't know what the fuck this movie was on, but it was terrible. It's legit on me. The worst movie I've ever seen. Legit. I don't know what I tried to say there, but I failed. Legitimately. I can't say it. Whatever. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. So boring. Nothing happens. It's very confusing. That's it. It's terrible.